Nearly 24 boulders fell from state-owned land onto his newly purchased home and barn. The damage, he says, totals hundreds of thousands of dollars. Money he thought the state owed him, but a recent court ruling says the homeowner has to foot the bill. In a KRQE News 13 investigation, Ann Perrette asks, what are the risks of living in nature?
Started right up there where you can see the big crack in the rocks up above.
A rock slide let loose 22 boulders by his count, with nowhere to go but barreling onto his property.
These are ones that came down from up there that literally jumped the house.
Oh, wow.
Came through this bush, landed here, landed there, landed here.
It's been 2.5 years since the property Doug Siddons bought in a foreclosure sale became what he calls, quote, unusable, uninsurable, and unsellable.
And then they came through the barn. There's about 8.
He's not sure it or the house can be saved.
Had to take the gas meter off, had to take the electrical meter off. I don't know how this one didn't keep from knocking the whole house down.
That's huge.
You can see it knocked down the fence, though. Then, when you turn the corner, the back porch is destroyed. Siddons says another boulder brought down the wooden enclosure, and at least one hit the house hard enough, he says, that you can see from inside it cracked the wall.
And I'm just so thankful that this happened before I sold the property to someone that could have potentially been hurt severely.
The native New Mexican says his investment company purchased this 2-acre property in Ruidoso for a number of reasons.
I'm very ingrained into this area. I'm a fire captain out at Nogales Fire Department. I love Lincoln County as much as anybody alive. Look at where we live. You know.
Siddons planned to fix up the horse stalls, house, and barn for a family that enjoys nature and the seclusion the neighborhood offers. But now he can't guarantee anyone who steps onto the property is safe.
How do you sleep at night if you sell it to somebody with 3 kids in a 4-bedroom home?
The rock slide happened March 26, 2021, the day Siddons planned to start renovations. Instead, he ended up dealing with his insurance.
Nope, not our fault. You don't have coverage.
You didn't have insurance.
I had insurance, full insurance policy. They said I didn't have rock slide, mudslide, or earthquake insurance.
So Siddons called the owner of the cliffside, the state land office, who came out to assess the damage. The field report created states, quote, the scar from the rock slide had damaged vegetation/trees and appears to be unstable.
I mean, this is going to happen again.
Siddons says he found out from that visit it's actually already happened. The land office responded to this property for a rock slide in 2004. We obtained that field report, which includes photos showing similar damage and notes the state knew the cliffside was unstable then. Siddons filed a tort claim.
Hey, this is a known dangerous condition that you guys failed to ameliorate, and so therefore you guys you owe me something.
But before Siddons could formally file his lawsuit, the state land office, in response to his threat, according to its spokesperson, sued Siddons' investment company and Siddons personally. The office asked a judge to find the agency is immune from Siddons' tort claim and to force Siddons to pay the legal costs of its lawsuit.
It's just really just purely like, how dare you ask us for anything? We're going to sue you for even just asking.
Attorney Abelair Dunn says this was a retaliatory move, since Siddons had also requested public records on the 2004 incident. He filed a countersuit for retaliation, IPRA violations, and the damage costs.
Instead of looking at this saying, how do we fix the problem, their solution was, well, how do we fight this problem? And I think that's where things went seriously awry.
A little more than 2 years of court hearings later, a judge rules in the state's favor, saying the state land office is immune from any responsibility for the rock slide because it occurred naturally. The judge explains the state agency didn't do anything to cause the boulders to fall, like construction on the site.
Natural conditions occur on property all the time. It's whether or not you do anything once you know about it to ameliorate that condition. that exposes you to liability. And so we think they're liable because of the fact they knew and did nothing.
An argument he's taking to the appeals court. And beyond the alleged negligence, Attorney Dunn is convinced a jury would also see the cliff as a, quote, public park, which would take away the land office's immunity.
The state land office pushes out that they want people to go recreate on these lands, and they give permits for that, to recreate on this land that's, next to Doug's property.
But the land office argues that cliff is not leased as a state or local park or marketed for outdoor recreation, so it doesn't fit that legal definition. While it claims no liability, a general counsel's memo we obtained reveals the land office did suggest ways the previous owner could protect his property from a future rock slide by installing netting or a retaining wall. It's not clear if anything happened. The previous owner died several years ago.
Do you have to tear this house down? Do you have to completely abandon the property?
I think that's the only solution.
Already $300,000 plus in the red, with a property he claims has lost 96% of its value. Siddons says he needs the state to take possession of his property and mitigate the danger.
This is just an incident that happened that could be rectified very, very easily, and I hope that it still can be.
Ann Perrette, KRQE investigates.
There is no timeline yet on when the appeals court will hear this case. Until the lawsuit is resolved, the boulders will remain because Siddons says he can't get them removed. He says multiple excavators have told them they don't feel safe using their equipment near the cliff.